Hello there. This is a requested video. I've had quite a few people ask me to please go back to my idea jar, and they would like a list of some ideas to put in there. So I promised that I would go through and I would write down all mine that I have in mind, and I'll see if I can come up with some more ideas. Okay. So all of these have ideas written on them. So I've got alphabets, I've got rub-ons, I've got pull-out stickers, I've got monochromatic. All of these I've actually went through and I wrote them down on a list, and there's 53 of them in my container. So if you want to take a screenshot, go ahead and do that. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll pull it up. If you want it closer, then I'll pull it up closer, so that way you can take a screenshot of this one. Okay, you can take a separate screenshot of this one. And I'll read through these because my handwriting's kind of funny on some of these. Okay, and the last one. All right, so we have 4 sheets. All right, so just in case you can't read my writing, we're going to go through all 4 of them, and I'll give you a slight information about each one that I do also for you, that I'm reading for you. Okay, so number one is organize your ribbons. All right, that's something. I've got 2 ribbon drawers, and I like to pull those drawers out every once in a while because there's always some ribbons that unroll off of the roll. So I like to go through and I like to do like this and put an elastic around. I do that with my sticker rolls also. So, but that's one thing that you can do with your ribbons. Organize your ribbons. I'm reading that together, ribbonize. All right, so organizing your ribbons. Another thing you can do is you can pull out all the scrap pieces that are just, that aren't full rolls of ribbons. Pull those out and see, or at least one roll. Pull out one roll and see how many times you can use it in a week, and then swap out for another color the next week. And just try to use your ribbons like that. I always start by my smallest pieces. So the full rolls I leave in the drawer, and all the smaller pieces I pull out first, because that way it's I don't know, I'm trying to get through all that because that's the messiest part for me. Number 2 is a new fun fold for you. If there's a fun fold that you haven't done, or that you have done before that you haven't done in a while, get that information pulled out, look it up, and make a new card, make a fun fold. Washi tape. I like to organize my washi tapes. I didn't realize how many I have. I actually have quite a few now. And there's so many things that you can do with your washi tapes. And I do have a video on that. So I will try to remember to attach that video for you, so that way I don't have to go through and all the ways to use it right now. So there, I put a reminder for myself. Stencil backgrounds. I don't know about you, but I've got a whole bunch of stencils. So I've got a whole package of little ones that I found off of Amazon. I think there's 50 of them in here. 56. It's a 56 pack. I've got bigger stencils, and just pull one stencil out each week or each time you sit at your desk. See if you can use that. I usually try to pull one thing out each week and try to use that in some way each week, whether it's on envelopes, or because you can do the flaps on the envelopes, you can do the bottom portion of the envelope down on the corner, you can do the inside of the envelope. When you lift the flap up, you can do the inside flap of the envelope. You can stencil backgrounds on cardstock or on layers, on regular copy paper, and then use those as layering papers. So there's a few ideas for you. Number 5 is make and use bows. And again, that's from when I'm organizing my bows, my ribbons, then sometimes I do pull out a whole bunch. And as a matter of fact, I've got this bag here that I just did recently. And I just pulled out all the loose ribbon that I had in there, and I made them all into bows. So, and then I've put them in this plastic bag right on my desk, so that way I can see if I can get through this bag. I'm trying to use these this week, or over the next couple weeks. All righty. Let's see, that was supposed. Cut and use edges. So I've gone through and we've made a few different edges. Where would my edges be? Oh, I pulled them out and put them, oh, I put them in my, I filed them. How do you like that? But for edges of cardstock. So let's see, I've got these ones here. And this is why I put it down, was because I've had this package forever. And so, and this, I mean, you can make these yourself too, but I don't know, I got it for $33 way back when. So, and they're just skinny border edges. So that's what I'm talking about is, and all of these just pull apart like cutout dolls. So, and that's why I put this on my list, because I've got this whole package of edges and I want to go through and use them. So let's see, organize scraps. That's a big thing. I've always got scraps laying around and I'm all constantly trying to organize them and reorganize them and reorganize them. And like right now, my box of scraps is getting quite full again. So I need to go through and use them again and see if I can reorganize them by cutting them down. And I've got videos on that, on using your scraps and organizing them. Okay, video. So I'll attach that video. Finishing items. I have this box of cards here, and these are all cards that I've started that need to be finished. So maybe something fell off of them, or I just didn't like the way it looked, or whatever, and it's soda. It's a soda box, so just half of it. So I cut the box in half, and I use that because it holds the cards in there perfect. So that's my finish item box. And so I'll go through and I'll just pull out a handful of them and see if I'm in the mood to try to finish some of them. Case and embellishment, number 9. Look through the embellishments. When you go to the store, I do this a lot. When I go to the store and I see embellishments, then I think, are there any that I can make? And I take pictures of them. I use my phone and I just take pictures. And so if you see an embellishment and you like it, look at it and try to figure out what is it about it that you like, okay? Janet made and sent this to me, and I added the little bumblebee. But isn't that adorable? That's a little embellishment that she made, and I love it. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, all right, well, what do I like about it? I love the French tassel on there. That's adorable. I love that it's on a paper clip. I love the little cub itself. I just think that's so adorable. And I like that it's on a paper clip because I can add more little jingles to it, more little dangles. And so I've hung this on my desk and above my desk, and I'm just going to keep adding little things to it. And when it gets full, then I'm going to use it for something. So, but look at them and see, is it the color that you like? Is it the image that you like? Is it the style that you like? Look at the embellishments that you have and why did you buy them? What made you buy them? Okay, was it the bling that was on them that attracted you? Was it the color scheme that attracted you? Was it was it a Christmas set? Was it a holiday set? Was it something like that? Was it all fall stuff and you really like fall items? So go through your embellishments and look and see what you have and try to see if you can copy them and make new ones. Making card kits is number 10. I love to do this. When I'm making cards and I've got a whole bunch of stuff, then I'll make sets of 4, 6, 8, and 12 so that I can give them away to people. I also like to make card kits for myself. So I'll go ahead and I'll like the fun fold cards. I'll take the fun fold cards and I'll put, like for instance, let me see, I'll pull one out. All right, well, here's one. So this fun fold, I really like this style. And so what I'll do is I'll just take and I'll make duplicates of just the card itself, not decorated, just a naked card. And I'll cut out and I'll fold them all. So that way I've got either 4, 6, 8, or 12 of them all done. So that way all I have to do is just decorate them all at one time. So that's what that one's for. Alrighty, where's the next one? Making card kits. Okay, rub-ons. Rub-ons go bad. They will actually dry out. They will actually adhere themselves to the piece of paper or the piece of board that's in behind them. So you need to be careful with, if you've got them stored, to make sure that you check them frequently. So because I've had some that actually stuck to, when I opened up the package, then they were, and I pulled the cardboard out, then all of the, when I peeled up the plastic, all the rub-ons were stuck to the white backing already. And so I couldn't use them because they were already adhered because of the weather here in Connecticut. We have a lot of humidity and they get adhered to the board. So, and that's okay for me. I don't mind that because now I've learned to go ahead and take those and fussy cut them out. And then I can use them. I just can't use them as a rub-on anymore. Now they're actually an embellishment. So pull your rub-ons out. And if you have some that you haven't used, you have half a sheet, maybe you just liked one of the rub-ons and you didn't like the rest of them, rub them on paper, on cardstock, white cardstock, and fussy cut them out or send them to somebody else if you don't want to use them. All right, matching a verse with an image. This is something I love to do, especially when I have a handful of scraps left over. Then I'll pull out a verse and an image. And like, for instance, I thought of something nice today, you. And then I've got this kitten. So I'll go ahead and I'll stamp both of these on a piece of colored cardstock or DSP, designer series paper. That way they're together and they'll match. So if I have blue paper and I stamp these both on blue paper, they're going to match when I cut them apart and fussy cut them out. They're going to match when I put them on a card because they're both the same color. Okay, so either the same ink or the same color paper. So, or just match them up. I thought of something nice today, you. So I could do a picture of a person. So, and other verses, like if there's a verse about love, then how many hearts do you have? If you have a verse that says the word love in it, how many hearts do you have? Or how many images do you have of people hugging each other? Those are perfect. Or a mommy and baby animal. That's perfect to go with the word love. So those are things that I like to do to get myself to use them more often because we have lots of verses. And even if they're not stamped verses, even if they're ones that, like when I see something like this, I thought of something nice today, you. I love that verse. If I didn't have the verse and the verse stamp and I saw that, I would just type it out. And then I would type up a whole sheet and then I would go ahead and stamp something next to them. So that way I've got matching verses with matching images. Alrighty, ready story inserts. That's this. I cut the corners off of envelopes and I save them because when I'm going through, I've got these books, Our Daily Bread. So as I'm going through and reading them, then I tear them apart and I fold it into 4 and I slide it inside this little corner jacket that I've cut off of envelopes. And you can get at least 1, if not 2, off of each envelope that you get in the mail. So, and then I fill these all up. And then when I'm ready to make cards for the senior center, then I can just pull these packages out. I can open up a card and I can have this already in there. And I've already put it all together. So then I can just put a little glue on there, glue that in the middle, and then just write down hello, and then from us, and then enjoy, the word enjoy it. So I've done that also with, if you have puzzle books, seniors love to get puzzle books, or puzzle book pages. So if you have word jumbles, or if you have this Sudoku, if you have word finds, then take a page or 2 out, fold it in quarters or whatever will fit inside your card. Stick it in these corners and glue them in there. Okay, if you want to write a longer message, go ahead and put them in this way. So that way, so they don't fall out, do them this way. Tuck it in there, and then you can write your message on the other side. So that's what that means for me, is to ready story inserts, because there's a lot of stories. These all have stories in them and scriptures. So that's pretty neat. And these are all ideas that I use for me, because this is the type of stuff that I have. So when you're going through, if any of these will help you to use your items, then please use them. Borrow these ideas. Make yourself a list. All right, next, let's see, monochromatic. I love to do monochromatic. I will take a box like this of stuff that I've just been throwing in here, and I'll pull out, like, I'll choose a color and go, okay, purple. Anything that has purple on it, then I'll put it in a pile. Pull it out of this box, and I'll put it in a pile. And then I'll try to make something using all those little bits and pieces. So that's that's a lot of fun for me, and I love that type of challenge. I love to make art trading cards or regular cards that are monochromatic. Those are a lot of fun. All right, washi words. I have washi tape that actually has words on them. And I've done videos on these also, where I just take them and I just take a piece of, I have these white cardstock strips, and I'll just take the washi tape and I'll just line it up on here and spread it out and press it down real good. And then I'll cut out all the words. So I have one that says beautiful. It's a beautiful day. And so I'll just cut that little word strip out and cut that out and cut that out and cut that out. And then I'll have a whole bunch of them all ready to play with. So that's what that means for me, washi words. Okay, we're done with sheet number 1. Sheet number 2. All right. Punch shapes. I've got a bunch of little tiny punches. I've got a bunch of regular size and a couple large ones. And there are some that I use quite often, like for instance this one. I use this one a lot. So when I have just a small handful of scraps on my desk at the end of the day, then I'll go through and I'll just punch out, you know, maybe a dozen. So, because I don't want to get too carried away, because sometimes I won't use the dozen. So today I did these ones. As a matter of fact, I did all these gold ones. And then I actually ended up putting them on. That's what I was doing with this piece of cardboard. So, and then I went ahead on top of that and I put the little 3D dots behind them. So they're all ready. I've got all these little golden bows. So, and there's just about a dozen or so in there. Alrighty. Pull out embellishments. Some people have so many embellishments that you don't even know what you have. Pull out all of your embellishments and organize them in themes or categories. See if you can get them better organized so that you can use them. All right. If you've got handmade embellishments, put those in some type of order or package them up. I have videos showing how I've packaged mine up. I'm sure you've seen those. I can attach that video also. I'll write that down, video. All right. So, because when you pull out the embellishments and then you look at them and you go, all right, well, I've only got 3 left on this sheet and I've got 5 left on this sheet and I've got, 1 or 2 left on this sheet. Pull those sheets out that just have a couple embellishments left and try to use them that week, or cut around them. If they're right here and all this is all used already and you've got an embellishment here, then cut all the other stuff off. So you just have that one little piece of paper that has the embellishment stuck to it. So that way it looks a lot less intimidating. Alrighty, number 18, practice backgrounds. There are so many backgrounds out there. And there's so many ideas on how to make them. Look them up. If you've got a folder with background ideas, pull them out. Work on a background. Number 19, stamp on envelopes. I like to ready my envelopes. So I will take my the ones that go to the senior center, and I'll get those all prepped up and ready. I like to make sure that I always have at least 6 regular envelopes, the A2 size envelopes, so that has a stamped image on there. So that way, when I make a card or grab a card real quick, then I can put it in an envelope and it's already stamped on there. Even if it doesn't match, that's okay. I use this kitten a lot. I use this one, my Mickey Mouse Barbara, a lot on envelopes, because that's something that people know it's from me, and I'll put that on. I put this on a lot of envelopes. So, but that way I've actually stamped something on the outside of the envelope instead of sending a naked envelope. So that's what that one is for me. Number 20, ready flat racks. Alrighty, and I have this box of stuff, and I have some flat racks all ready to send out. So, and that's what this box is for. So you can see, I'll cover up. Actually, I don't care if you see my address anyways. But these are all done, ready, they're sealed. I've got that on there already. And I've got my return address on there. All I have to do now with these is stamp my Mickey Mouse stamp on the bottom of it, and then put your name on it and send it out to you. So that's what I mean by ready. Get those flat rack attacks ready for yourself. So that way you've got them all lined up. I use this box also so that I can put empty envelopes in there, and I'll line as I'm going through my desk. Then I'll go, okay, well, you know, I've got a whole bunch of these. So let's put one of these in each envelope, you know, or a couple of these in each envelope. I've got a roll of these. All right, well, how big can I cut this off? So I think it's 4 or 5. So I can cut 4 or 5 stickers off and, you know, put a sleeve or 2 in there. So, and then just go ahead and as you're working on things this week, and if you have extra images and words that you've cut out, that you've stamped, throw those in there. So that way you're constantly working on those. And then if somebody sends you a flat rack and you want to send them one back, you can do that. Or if you see somebody's name, you know, or if it's a junk queen of the week, then in Debbie's junk group, then she's got a, you know, junk queen of the week, and once a week then she does that, and she'll put somebody's name out there with their address, and then we all get to send to that person. So, but that, when you have the envelope stuffed and ready to go, it's so much easier to throw a name on there and their address. Alrighty, number 21, die cut shapes. How many die cuts do you have? What are your most favorite shapes, or what are some shapes that you've never even used? Pull those dies out, you know, pull a set out. If you've got a set of them, pull them out and cut them out, cut some out. If you've got favorites, pull them out, cut them out. Look through your scraps. If you have a grass die cut, pull out all the greens, you know, all those greens, and punch out, you know, die cut a bunch of grass pieces out. If you've got hearts, then pull out all your reds and pinks and purples and whatever colors you like your hearts to be, and punch out some or die cut them out. All right, pull out stickers. That's the same thing as your rub-ons. I've got stickers that, this was wonderful. Somebody gave me a whole zippy bag full of stickers. So what I did first was I went through and I separated them. All the full sheets I left in the bag. All the used sheets, then I pulled those aside and I put those in a separate zippy bag. So that way I can go through and try to use all those ones first. Alrighty, and then during the week, then I try to put a sticker on something, whether it's next to the verse on the inside of the card, on the outside of the envelope to close it, use it as an embellishment on the card, whatever way I can figure out how to use them. All right, number 23, tags. You know what tags are. Cut some out. If you've got some already cut out, if you've got a box of pre-made tags, pull them out. Put them on your desk. As you're stamping out verses this week, then leave that, you know, take that verse and stamp out at least 3 or 4 of those onto a tag. Then that way you've got a verse or an image that's already stamped on there. Then you're that far ahead of yourself already. So that next time you need a tag, you've already got a verse or an image on there. Or if you have little pieces of scrap paper, I love to do that. I'll get some store-bought tags or some cut ones that I've cut myself, and the little tiny bits and pieces, you know, things like this, then I'll just go ahead and just glue them right on the tag throughout the week. And then at the end of the week, I look at the tag and it's covered. It's like a collage. So that's another neat idea to keep on top of your scraps. Washi borders. This is something I love to make. And so, I've done videos on that where you just take the roll of washi tape and you just go ahead and you lay it on a piece like this. Do it across. Use your decorative scissors or your regular scissors or your cutting board and cut them in strips. So that way you've got some borders, washi tape borders. Those are awesome for any of the projects you're working on. Alphabets. How many alphabet stickers do you have or embellishments? I've seen some people in videos that have hundreds because they do scrapbooking, and it's so easy when you're scrapbooking to have so many extra letters. And I do have a video on using up those alphabets too, so I'll add video on that one too. Alrighty, so pull those alphabets out, and even if you're just using them on the outside of an envelope to Barbara Austin, put a B. If you have B, put a B on the letter B. If you have the letter A, put the letter A on there, and then write the rest of my name. So use them up for that. If you've got alphabet stickers, I like to, if you've got some C's left, use it with your cat image. Put the cat image right next to it. Stamp them on there. Turn them into embellishments. Alrighty, stickers on cardstock. That's another thing that I like to do is I like to take sheets of stickers that I have, and like for instance the ones that my friend gave me, then the sheets that had just a couple on there, then I just peeled all the stickers off, put them on white cardstock, and then fussy cut them around them. So now I have embellishments. So number 27, make envelopes. This is something that I have to do very often because we run out of envelopes real quick. And so because we're making hundreds and hundreds, literally, of envelopes each month to my friend and I, so that we can put all the cards in them when we deliver them to the senior centers. So that's something that I have to have on my list, is make envelopes. You need more envelopes. Alrighty. Number 28, sketch card. There are so many sketches, card sketches out there. And when I see a card and I look at it and I go, oh, I really like that. That's really cool. Then I'll draw. And something that's really fun to do is I have notebooks like crazy in the other room. I'll have to bring those out and do a video on that one time just to show you how many there are. But you can index cards. You can get these at the Dollar Tree with 100 cards in there for $1.25. And you can draw pictures of cards on there. So like for this, you know, this one, say this is just a flat card. You can draw this out. Draw the shape of the card. Draw this border over here. This one's about 1/3 of the way. You know, if you split this up, then it's about 1/3 of the front of the card. So, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if this were a card that I saw online, then I would go, all right, well, that's really cute. So this is my card front. So I'll go, all right, well, first there's this square in the middle. So, and that's really cool. I like that. And there's an image on there. So I'll write down the word image. And then I see behind here, there's a real skinny border. So I'll go ahead and I'll draw a line down here. And this is a DSP border. So Designer Series Paper border. Okay. And then about 1/3 of the way, maybe half of the way, it's almost half of the way, then there's another strip. So I'll go ahead and I'll do it like this. So this is DSP, Designer Series Paper background. All right. That way I can remember how this card is set up. I can look at that and go, wow, okay, so this is a card. There's a shape, there's a focal image in the middle. There's a decorative paper border along the side, and there's a wider one along this side that goes almost halfway across. So now I've got this, and you can file these in a file box. You can stick them in there, and when you're not knowing what to do, pull one of these cards out and look at it, and then duplicate it. Try to make it. All right. Next, let's see. Where was I? Washi borders, make sketch card. Okay, birthday cards. Pull out some cards and make some birthday cards. We all need birthday cards. I don't need to explain that one to you. Scrap tape borders. We all know what scrap tape borders are. I've done videos on those, and I will attach that video. Okay, V for video. All right. So next one, 31, fussy cut images. So pull out, this is something I like to do when I'm watching TV, because my husband likes to watch movies, and we'll watch series together of movies. And while I'm doing that, then I'll pull out some stamped images that I have, sheets of stamped images, or I'll pull out some decorative paper that has images that I want to fussy cut out, and I'll take them downstairs. And I have bread pans. I have 2 bread pans, one to hold them in once they're all cut, and the other one to keep all the scraps in there. So that way I can sit there and I can pull from the one bread pan, and or you could use a shoebox or whatever. I just have bread pans because I've got quite a few of them. So, and I like the size of them. Alrighty. 32. Watch the videos. We have used those scrap papers, bkabarbieboop. That's my video. That's these videos that you're watching right now, this video. I have over 1,500 videos. So, and there's lots and lots and lots of ideas for you. Alrighty, number 33, strip backgrounds. So when you're making pull out some layers, some card layers. Like for instance, these. I like to use the index cards, and I'll make strip backgrounds. So I'll lay this down, and I'll take my little container here with this little strips that I have, and I'll just start gluing them down. And then when it's filled, then I take another index card and I'll fill it up. With these index cards, when you're all done, you can use it on a card front for a background. You can cut it into a tag. You can punch things out. You can die cut things out of them. It's a great way to have a stack of those on hand all the time to use up these strips. Alrighty, next, folder emboss backgrounds. That's pretty self-explanatory. Alrighty, so pull out your folders. If you've got new folders that you've never used, pull them out and at least do one of each one, and then leave them on your desk. See if you can use those this week. Punch out lace, some paper lace. We have punches, we have special scissors. Make some paper lace. Okay, make some borders. I love to create borders with all the little punched out images, or maybe you want a cat border. You can stamp a bunch of cats along a piece and play around with those. If you've got stickers, you can make a sticker border. We've got lots of borders that we can make. Make art trading cards, ATCs. So those are 2.5 by 3.5, and they're the same size as a baseball cards rather. There are lots of videos on, and I do have a video on making those, so I'll add a video down there for you, and I'll attach that one. Play with the new stamp sets, number 38. Do you have a new stamp set? Doesn't have to be brand new. It could be new to you. Pull a few stamps out, or one that you haven't used in a while. Stamp them. Stamp sets are fun to pull the whole set out, stamp the whole set, cut them out, and then play with them like they're, what were they called? Color forms. Are you old enough to know what color forms are? They were just like rubber pieces of, vinyl. They were vinyl pieces, and all these images were on it, and you could lay them down on glossy cardstock, and you can move them around and make little pictures out of them. Do that with your stamp sets. That will give you quite a few ideas on how to use your stamp sets. Alrighty, number 39, Pinterest idea. There are millions of ideas on Pinterest, so I definitely don't need to go into that. Number 40, verses on your scraps. Pull out a verse or two, pull out a handful of scraps, stamp them on, cut those out, put them aside, you'll be ready to use them. Stamp and color and images. So pull out an image and just stamp one whole sheet, or even just 1/4 sheet. Stamp as many images as you can on there and color them in. Alrighty. Number 42, card gift sets. I love making card gift sets for other people. All right. 43, look through your art trading cards. If you're a collector of art trading cards, look through them. I had a collection of art trading cards, and I will do a video on that. I need to pull out my binders because I've got a few binders full of art trading cards, and what I like to do with them is I like to, when I'm making them, when I make a big card, so if I make this card, then I'll make an art trading card size of this style card. So that way I can go ahead and set it up the same exact way, and I can make myself a little mini version of this card. So, and I'll go more into detail on when I make that video for you. All right, 44, collect your frack items. When we do send out flat rack attacks, when people bless you with Happy Mail, gather that stuff together and put it all together. And you know, I've done this video before, and I have envelopes in here, and I've got them all alphabetized, and the items that people send to me that I separate in here. So that way, in different categories. So that way I can find them easier. Another thing I've had to do is I started, because I have so many, I started this bag now for all of the smaller items that people are sending me, because these are all the ephemera, because I'm getting a few of them. This bag was so full before, and now I've got about 1/3 of it left, which is awesome. So, and then that is a bag that I grabbed from, but because they're all in there together in one place. So those are all the small little things. And the box that I pulled down with the envelopes, those are the bigger things. So the pretty papers that people send me. So, and some, like they make homemade envelopes, and I put those in there. Or some real nice ephemera that I want to use it for something special. Then I've separated those. So go through the stuff, the items that people have sent you, and organize them in a way that you'll use them. All right, number 45, we're almost done. 45, match ribbon with paper. So pull your ribbons out and pull out a piece of decorative paper. Okay, here's a piece of washi tape. Look at all the different colors in this. If this were decorative paper, There's black, there's white, there's orange, yellow, a bluish green, there's a pink. So any of those. So any of those colors in a ribbon would match perfect with this. Okay, if you've got, let's pull out, here you go, here's a piece of decorative paper. It's just red and white. So pull out a contrasting color. So maybe you've got some blue. So pull out a ribbon that will be a contrasting color to that. And then put that together. You know, cut out a couple cards and put a decorative piece of paper and a piece of ribbon. Make a little card kit for yourself. So you'll use that. If you've got just a couple little small pieces of decorative paper left, then make yourself a little card kit using those. Alrighty, next, stamp a sheet of verses. I love to pre-stamp sheets of verses, and especially when I go to my friend's house, then I'll stamp verses out on sheets, on copy paper, and then I'll bring them home and I'll make photocopies of them. I don't sell anything so that I make. I give them away as gifts, or the majority of the stuff goes to the senior homes. So that's what I do when I'm doing a whole bunch. So is stamp out a whole bunch of the verses, of your own verses. I'll do that with my own. I'll take this one because I use this one a lot, and I can get a whole bunch of them on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And then I can sit there and I can cut them all out, and I've got them, or I can use my punches and punch them out. And then they're all ready to use on my cards. Alrighty, number 49, organize your embellishments. Pull those embellishments. We already talked about embellishments, didn't we? I think so. Alrighty. But pull them all out and see how many you have. You'll be surprised at how many you actually do have. You think you have very few, you know, a little bit, but I'm sure you have plenty. Case a card is number 50. When you're going through the groups that you've joined, if you see somebody's card and you really like it, take a screenshot of it. Take a picture of it. Draw a picture of it. What about that card do you like? What is it that you really like about the card? I'm going to show this one again. This one, I really like the colors. The brown and that blue together, that is sharp to me. I like that color background. And the white makes it pop to me. So I love that. So if this was a card that somebody else made, then I would look at it and I would go, you know what? That's one thing that I really like. So I'll take a picture of this so that I'll remember the colors. I like that color combination. Tan, brown, blue. Those are gorgeous together. So that's one thing that I look for. The other thing I look for is I look at the way that it's set up. Do I like the way it's arranged? If it's the way that it's arranged that you're liking, then write that down. Make yourself a note. Take a picture of it and write it down that you like the layout. If it's the embellishment that's on there, then, and the way they've used the embellishment, then make a note of that. Take a picture of it. Take a screenshot of there's so many cards that I go through and I take screenshots and then I narrow it down and I get down to just this portion of the card. I don't even see the rest of the card because I like this. And when I look at it and I go, and what I like about it is I like that it's square, and I like that there's two little punched items on either corner. That's such a cute little layout. And this was actually a layout that I've got from somebody else, this little square, because the way that they laid their items out, I like the way it was. So I've been using this little layout, just this square, for so many years now, because I think that's really a cute way to set it up. All right, let's see. So that's case a card. 51 is cut up a paper pad. Pull out a paper pad, cut it up. If you've got half sheets in there, quarter sheets, if you've got bits and pieces in there, pull them out, cut them up. Or what I like to do is I like to pull one of each sheet out. Because in the paper pads, then they usually have 4 or 6, you know, of each sheet. I'll pull one piece of every single one out, and then I'll cut them up to usable sizes. That way I can start using them. So, and then I've still got the paper pad that still has more some full sheets in there, but I like to cut them up into 6 by 6s. And I have this box right here that I keep. And so as I'm cutting them, then I just put them in here. So, and here's a sheet. This is some that somebody sent me. They sent me half sheets, and I cut them into quarter sheets. So this a whole package of 6 by 6 sheets of decorative paper. And then I just put them in these boxes, And then I can pull from those and I can use them. So when I'm looking for a sheet to put on to decorate the front of my card, then I can pull one of those sheets out. Alrighty, let's see. Finish up a sticker sheet. We've already talked about that. And last but not least, match decorative paper with your cardstock. So if you've got cards cut up already and you've got different colors, then pull out decorative paper and see what matches. So here's green. If I've got this decorative paper, this piece of cardstock, if this were a card, then I could look through my decorative paper and see what matches that. What matches that? And then go ahead and put a sheet together with it and set it aside so that way I can use it. All right, so there's 53 ideas for you. I hope this helps you with some ideas. I would suggest also if there are some, if you have, what do you have on your desk? What is crowding up your desk? What do you have? I've got a couple punches that I leave out all the time. I've got a couple rolls of washi tape on here. And this is one. I put this one out this week because it's got the holly on there. And any envelope that I send out this week, I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna make sure that I reseal it with that and make sure that I use this up this week. So I think that'll be fun, or over the next couple weeks. So see what you've got. I've got these little containers with little flowers. Maybe I need to write mini flowers, on my strip. And seeing all these ideas are on all of these strips. Every single one of these ideas I have a strip for, and that's what this is for. So then what I do is I just pull out an idea or two, and I just go, okay, ready in my envelopes for flat racks. That's my job for today. Because if you have a brain dead day and you just don't know where to start, that's what these lists are for. You can make a list. You can keep these lists, the ones that you copied from me. You can write down the numbers. Write down the numbers 1 through 53. Put them in a box. Shake the box up. Pull a number out. And then you can have those ideas. If there are items on here that you don't do, then change. Cover over it with a piece of paper. And then write in what do you have on your desk that you're trying to use up? Do you have a roll of stickers that you want to use? Do you have a package of stickers? So I've got these rolls, so I could put, these sticker rolls, put those on there. I've got dogs and cats on this roll. I've got all pigs in here. So I do have a few stickers here. But what do you have? I've got this envelope here that somebody gave me a whole bunch of store-bought cards, and I cut out all these images off of them. And so I need to add that to my list. So that way I can pull these out and I can use them on cards. I need to fussy cut them first. So these are going to go downstairs with me tonight, as a matter of fact. So that way I can fussy cut the images out and I can use them on cards. So look around on your desk and what supplies do you have? Do you have coloring mediums that you haven't used in a while? Do you have watercolors? Do you have watercolor markers? Do you have regular markers? Do you have colored pencils? Do you have crayons? Do you have, what kind of color mediums do you have that you haven't used in a while? Do you have Pearlex? That's going to date me. Do you have old makeup that you want to use up? Whatever it is that you have that you want to use, put them on your list or put them on your strips. So that way, when you're brain dead, you can pull them out and you can say, okay, I've got an old makeup palette. I need to put that down. And as a matter of fact, I do want to add that to mine. So make yourself use what do you have that you're using up? I have a roll of dots, sticky dots, these glue dots. That's getting really, not this one, but I've got another one that are getting really old. They're all yellowed. But they still work, but they don't work as good as they used to. So I put that on my desk and I try to use that for every single thing that I'm trying to glue together. So whatever it is that you have that you're trying to use, put it on your desk or make a list so it's not as overwhelming, because if I had all this on my desk, I wouldn't be able to use it. I wouldn't be able to use my desk. But if you pull out 1 or 2 items off of your list each week, then you'll get through your list. Okay? So there you go. I hope this pleases you with the explanation that you were looking for. I hope that this answers your questions. I hope that you've gleaned some more ideas from me to help you out in using your supplies and making your suggestion jar for yourself. So, and until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.